Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome back. It is JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, right here for all of your college football needs. Of course, every week in the Players Club, we get to chat with Micah Bernard, the University of Utah, the running back, the senior, and one of those great leaders on the on that Ute squad this year. Micah, a week in the books of a bye week, first one of the year. You get two this year. How was it? Did you get all healed up? You feel like you got some time to get right?
Oh yeah, man! I felt great. You know, those days off. Everybody needs those days off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it came at the right time. You know, I feel good. I'm ready to get back at it.
So, for fans that don't know, can you take us through what a bye week experience is like for the players?
Oh yeah. So you know, we wanted to keep it light, get our bodies back. So we practiced early in the week last week, and then we had a couple of days off just to chill, do whatever we want. No meetings, no nothing. And then we came in Sunday because we do play on Friday this week. Mm-hmm. Came in Sunday and got to work.
So with these Friday games, does everything just get moved up one day? And how do you guys treat that? Because it's going to be a late night game. It's going to be one that, you know, everybody in the country is going to be watching because it's going to be on that Friday night. It's going to be a late one down in Tempe. How do you guys handle this week?
You know, it's just a regular week. Sometimes you get that extra day of practice depending on, you know, we had a bye week, so we were fortunate enough to get an extra day of practice. But, you know, if you play on a Saturday and then the next week you play on a Friday, most teams don't really use that extra day because you need that one day off for guys to heal up. But fortunately, we got that extra day. So, yeah, everything just got moved up a day, and, you know, we just did everything regularly.
How's the vibe this week once you guys had a little bit time to separate yourself from that disappointing loss? Can you explain to fans how everyone's feeling right now and what the vibe was as you guys get ready to go for Arizona State?
You know, everything gets flushed. You got to flush everything. You can't just live in the past. We try to go, you know, 1-0 each week, and so this is a new week, new opportunities, new plays, new everything. So we just flush what we did a couple weeks ago, and we go into this week with a new mindset.
Micah, one of the things that we've been able to see with this program is that despite adversity, you guys are still able to compete at that high level. And with all the stuff that surrounds the program, you talk about, everybody wants to talk about Cam's injuries every week and whether or not he's going to be playing or not. What is it that you guys do to make sure that you can stay just kind of in your moment and in your world and do what your 1/11th is?
You know, everything is inside our walls. Like, we know what we're capable of. We know what we have to do. We know that anything is still possible at this time. You know, you seen last week what happened, or, you know, Saturday, what happened with all these teams, ranked teams going down. And that means everything is still open for the taking. So, you know, you take that one loss. Everybody wants an undefeated season. You know, it's hard to come by those. But, you know, you take that one loss and you keep moving forward, and hopefully that's the only one you take.
Did you get a chance to be a fan of football on Saturday and watch some of those upsets? It was a pretty crazy Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I think we had a great bye week. I mean, you know, we don't typically get a chance to, you know, sit down and watch the game. So, you know, I sat down and watched, you know, all of college football and flipped through a lot of channels and stuff and seen a lot of things. I'm like, wow, this is great just to sit back and not have to worry about anything, you know. Let these guys get the heat for once, you know.
Yeah. And speaking of heat, I mean, Alabama's feeling a lot of heat today. USC's feeling a lot of heat, right? You've been there, though. You know how it feels. Like it's gotta be nice to see it's not just you guys, right? I mean, this is college football. It's pretty wild this year, especially with, I don't know, it feels like NIL might be evening out the playing field a little bit. It's just pretty wacky, Micah, how crazy college football's been this year with some of the upsets.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'm just looking. I watched the Bama game, and I'm like, wow, they can actually pull it off, and then they did. Watched the Tennessee game, and I'm like, whoa, Arkansas, you know. Had to cheer on my boy JJ. You know, he was doing a good job as well, and I'm like, whoa, they can take down number 4. I didn't get to see the USC game, and then I watched the Miami game at the end of the night, and I was like, wow, if Cal does this, it's going to be crazy. But, you know, Miami pulled it off. But it was just great to see, like, you know, a lot of teams just, you know, having fun and getting their mojo with these top-ranked teams.
What it does is really puts it into perspective, right, Micah, that one loss does not sink a season. And for you guys, that's where you guys are at. And I know you've been here a long time, and you've been in these situations. The 2 years you guys went to the Rose Bowl, you didn't win every game. So how is that? How do you reprogram yourself and take advantage of the opportunity to learn from what happened and kind of regroup and realize that there's a lot of football ahead and you guys can still accomplish a lot of your goals? How do you guys as a group handle that and maybe use some of what you saw on Saturday as motivation to move forward?
Man, I try to remind the new guys that, hey, man, we've been here before. You know, we didn't win 2 championships going undefeated. We won these championships because we had adversity and we fought through it. And, you know, I think that's the best time to, like, realize, like, not everybody can go undefeated. You got to take a loss, and you have to see where you're at mentally and physically as a team. And, you know, that loss is what we did. We went back in the bye week, and, you know, we fixed some things, and, you know, we're ready to put it on tape this week.
What were things that you felt like you guys needed to fix in that bye week? The things that you looked at and you talked about in your running back room or as an offense? What are the things that you guys as a team talked about you wanted to fix?
I think we wanted to hold each other more accountable. You know, it was a lot of things on tape where it's just like, okay, one part of the offense is doing a great job. The other part of the offense is not so much doing a great job. And we got to hold each other accountable, hold players accountable, make sure that we fix things and don't let it continue on. And I think we did a good job of that last week, just making sure, you know, coaches were riled up. One mistake. No, we don't want to make mistakes. So you get that one time, don't do it again. So it was just making sure everybody was held accountable for mistakes we've done. And, you know, when you have a good team, you know, you let some of those mistakes slip sometimes. But, you know, with that loss, you got to make sure we don't let anything slip no more. We know we can't do that.
Did you watch any of the Arizona State-Kansas game at all, or either live or on film?
No, I didn't watch it live, but I did watch it on film.
What are your thoughts on Arizona State and what you saw in that game?
Those guys, they run 100 miles per hour. They're, you know, what is the big word they're using nowadays? Crash out. There's just a bunch of crash outs, you know, running 100 miles per hour trying to, you know, hit something. So, you know, it's a lot of things we can exploit, and that's what hopefully we're going to do.
It's a team that, you know, I think not a lot of people gave the credit to Kenny Dillingham as a head coach and his guys because, you know, they're supposed to be in another rebuild year, but they're 4-1. They're overperforming what people's expectations were. What does that say about them?
Yeah, like I said, they do everything at 100 miles per hour. You know, I haven't watched their offense, but their defense, they fly around. You know, they try to do their job. They make up for their lack of ability in some things by going 100 miles per hour, and that's when they've been successful. And, you know, you got to praise the coach for, you know, changing the culture around there.
What are your thoughts on playing a night game in Tempe, 97 degrees, probably at kickoff, which is nuts that late, but you know it's another opportunity for you guys to go out there and prove what you can do and take a next step. But it's somewhat of a challenge on a Friday night, although you guys had a bye week to prepare. I don't know if that helps. What are some of your thoughts as you get ready to take on that team on a Friday night?
You know, I've been down in Tempe once before we played a late night game, so you know, it came out successful, and, you know, that's what I'm just trying to picture this team doing, is going down there and doing the same thing.
When you get ready for a game like this and you've had a week plus to be able to prep for it, what did you do as that leadership council, that group of leaders on your team, to get with your guys, you know, after that loss against Arizona to get them ready for Arizona State? Because I would assume that, you know, Coach puts a lot on you guys' shoulder as the leaders of that team to be able to kind of get your guys right. And so what do you tell them and some of these young guys who may have experienced like that, the highs of being a top 10 team and the lows of taking a loss like that?
You just got to keep at it. You know, it's a long season. You know, we're a quarter through the season. We still got 3 quarters left. So nothing that is early in the season, nothing that happens early in the season, especially with a good team when you go 4-1, is not going to translate to later. So we just got to make sure we continue to work each and every week and make sure we get better.
You know, we have no idea who's going to start at quarterback at this point. But I do want to ask you about Isaac, because you can you imagine, Micah and all that, you know what it's like to show up as a true freshman somewhere to try to play. What's it like to try to fit in and try to understand what's going on as a true freshman? What are some of your observations of the way he's handled that? because it hasn't been perfect, but it feels like he's handling it really well and doing the best he can at this stage of his career.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to come in and try to play great. It's hard to do that. Not a lot of guys can do that, but a lot of guys can come in first year and just try to get the job done and progress as the season goes on. And he's been doing a great job of just progressing as the season goes on. So it's like I applaud him because quarterback is not easy. It's not an easy position, and you take most of the fall most of the time. And I think he's done a great job of just keeping his head high, not showing any lack of emotion and stuff like that. But yeah, he's doing a good job. He just got to continue on trying to improve each and every week, and he got to take it from the vet and Cam Rising, whatever he does, and make sure he can just take notes in his head, mentally or physically, whatever it is, to go out there and get better each day.
You mentioned Cam, and you guys would love to have him out there. I'm curious, what are you missing without Cam? Isaac's done a great job. He's done the best he can, but what does Cam Rising bring to the table that you guys have really missed since he's been out?
I think it's just the playbook. I mean, you can open up the playbook when you got a guy like Cam in, but when you have a young guy, it's hard to open the playbook because you don't want to put too much pressure on somebody who's that young and just getting tossed in. So it's like, I think Cam, he knows the playbook inside and out. He can call the right checks. He can do this and that and third. You can open the playbook. You can add new plays. You can do this. You can do that. But with Isaac, it's kind of difficult because you don't want to just overload his brain and have him think too much.
Arizona State and Utah, of course, this Friday, and Micah Bernard, running back for the University of Utah. What's your role going to look like this week? And do you look at it and go, I'll just do what they asked me to do, or do you look and you say, hey, I want that ball, I want that rock, because every time you seem to carry it, it's at least 5 yards.
You know me. I'm going to say it. I'm going to do whatever they ask me to do. Sometimes you don't agree with what's happening, but sometimes you got to let it roll because your time will come. And I've been doing that all my whole career here. Just whatever's asked, I'm ready to go. And so, looking at the playbook this week and what we're trying to do, I think we're going to be involved in the run game a lot. But we'll see what happens. I'm ready for whatever.
I'm curious. You've done a great job. You've become RB1 here without a doubt, and you've had a great season so far on the ground. We haven't seen you catch a lot of passes out of the backfield. Is that by design, or would you like to see that happen more? Is it just a function of the quarterback situation? Is that by design, or would you like to get the ball more in the pass game?
I don't know what it is, man. I'll say the same thing, but I think it's just, I'm taking more of a load in the backfield, just run the ball. So, we got a lot of guys that can catch the ball out the backfield as well. So we try to get them in the mix. And, it just all depends on play design and play type. I hope that I get, used in the pass game some more ongoing this season, but we'll see what happens. But we got a good guy, Dorian Seeger, who can catch the rock. And so you really don't need, a running back to catch it when you got tight ends and receivers that can go out and catch the ball as well. But we'll be the safety outlet.
Micah, you've had a really good year so far. Still more than half of the season left, as you said. What's the thing that you think you've gotten the best at this year, though, now that you've gotten 5 games under your belt and you go, okay, I have been improving at this? And what's the stuff that even you, as somebody who's been in the program a long time, has gotten better at?
I think just getting the flow of the game. I just remember, coming in on third downs, just being a scat back or, picking up blitzes or whatever. And now I get the flow of the game where I can see everything slow down. I can get how they're playing me and what they're doing on the defensive end rather than just watching it from the sideline and then getting in a couple plays and being like, oh, they're doing this. But, it's just a different flow of the game when you're just in the whole game and you can understand what's going on and how they're tackling and the reads you have to make because they're doing something such a way. You can go back to the sideline and be like, Coach, they're doing this, and then we run a play because they did that. It's just, I think it's easier for me just to understand and move the ball because the knowledge I have during the whole game.
Micah, we appreciate it. Another week in the books, man. We're looking forward to this Friday. And as always, stay healthy. And we're looking forward to talking to you next week, catching up, hopefully after another W this week.
Yes, sir. Another W. Going for it. Want to know.
There you go. Micah Bernard, another one in the books with him. Our Players Club, as always, Brought to you by the folks at G2G Bars, all natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar perfect for anybody who needs a quick, tasty, nutritious boost. We'll be back. More to go around the corner. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.